Welcome to ModMen, the show where voiding your warranty is our business.
Welcome to ModMen. I'm your host, Bill Owen, and in this first episode, we're going to share the case mod that we did for Corsair recently on their new 600T graphite mid-tower case. It's a case mod that I would describe as sci-fi / military. Let's just say it looks like something that Halo's Master Chief would bring to a LAN party event. Then what we're going to do is reveal the design that we're doing for our scratch build PC by Cheapskate, who I worked with last year on the award-winning NVIDIA Cube PC. But before I can reveal that, we're going to look at what's being touted as this year's best bang for the buck computer case. It's the Cooler Master Half 912 Basic, and for 60 bucks, this thing packs a lot of great features. Right away, you notice it's got that half signature style, industrial looking, rugged looking bezel design. Either you love it or hate it. I love it. I like the look. Notice there's a slight bulge here. That's so the case will accept larger CPU coolers. It will accept up to 175mm height CPU cooler. Then over at the right side panel, it doesn't match. Well, that's just one of the examples of how they're saving money on the cost of this case. You've got the option of using a 120mm or 140mm cooling fan here. Plenty of cooling fan options up here. You can use two 120mm cooling fans exhausts up here, or you can move up to a 200mm cooling fan. Move more air, less noise. I'm all for that. It would go in underneath like that. Okay, now you water coolers out there, you have an option as well. However, you can only put a radiator on the top. It will not fit on the ceiling. There's not enough room. Let's look on the back side of the motherboard plate, because I'm always curious about how much space they've given you for hiding cables and wires. You want your job to look nice and clean. You don't want it to look like there's a bird's nest inside your case. And measuring it, we've got just over ½ inch gap here between the back side of the motherboard plate and the side panel. Plenty of room, and they've got these nice little loops here for your cable ties, so you can tie down the cables. That's slick, so you don't need the adhesive base zip tie things, which is really nice. Some nice cable management holes here too. A large opening for your CPU cooler retention plates. That's really nice. So there's some features here that didn't even exist in high-end cases for a while. This will take 6 hard drives, 3.5 inch size. The main column, which holds 4, is easily removed, and you can change the orientation of how your hard drives are in here. Now keep in mind, if you have your hard drives like this, you're gonna have the cables come in here. We've also got a cage for two 2.5 inch solid state drives, and it's removable in case you got a longer size monster power supply you're putting in this thing. So that can go. And keep in mind, if you have longer cards, that hard drive cage can be removed as well. 7 PCI slots, and then there's an 8th, which is vertical. Why is that? Well, have you ever bought the motherboard where it's had extra USB ports that plug in with the long cables? That's where this would go, so you've got extra USBs. Filtering is with a plastic perforated screen that's easily removable. All of the 5¼ bays are easily removed with these tabs, and they have screens as well for filtering. Now taking a look at the front, the 912 comes with two 120mm cooling fans. You can add an additional 120 below this one, so you can have those two, or you can remove both of those and have the one 200mm cooling fan. Imagine having this and then the one on the top is exhaust. That's a pretty good cooling case. I don't think there's another mid-tower case that even can touch this at $59.99. If I was another case manufacturer, I would definitely be reevaluating what I'm offering at that price point to try to compete. I don't see how anyone can right now with all the options and features, especially if you're going to do a budget build system and you want something that you can grow into over time with beefier hardware. This is the way to go. You can't go wrong. Cooler Master obviously listened to what people wanted, and it is the best bang for the buck in 2010 and probably well into 2011. So good job, Cooler Master. Pay attention, this here is Tape of the Gods, made by 3M Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing, which should actually be retitled Madmen Modding from Minnesota. This is the best tape you will ever find on the market. It's the strongest tape. It's better than Crazy Glue or Super Glue.
It's a Dell desktop. 14.5 pounds. Yeah, so what are you doing with that anyways? Tape of the Gods action.
You got 3 strips on here of the 4010 tape. 1, 2, 3. Just to show that nothing's magnetized. Now that's a window mod.
We're going to be sharing an ultra cool case mod project we're working on for Corsair. Right now, it's in the custom paint stages, so we're going to head over to Brad's paint booth to see how things are going.
Brad Galvin, our custom painter, and we're just going over the designs for the theme on the Corsair 600T. He's going to be airbrushing all these different effects. And right now, he's put a base coat on it. You know what I really want is it's kind of like weathered and abused surface effects where it's been scratched up, seen some action maybe in the field from, you know,
sitting outside rusty or not so abused?
Nah, more like just it's been moved around a lot, seen a little action, maybe some.
Kind of shoved in the corner and got banged up.
Exactly. Yep.
Actually, this is a silver I had laying around for somebody else's motorcycle, and then dry some of that off and just kind of get the edges like they've been. Some of the circles here.
I talked to Brad about an effect that looked used and abused. Imagine the case getting scratched up a bit. So what Brad did was use a red Scotch-Brite pad and lightly scuff the paint as it cured to simulate the effect of a case being used over time. We're going to put a 600T, and you had made some kind of appliques for stencils.
Yeah, I took my vinyl cutter and I used the USAF stencil, so I'll put that on the door.
Got a little military vibe about it.
Boom, there.
Yeah.
One on the other side where there's a fake window. Fade them in, kind of light like that gray. And then to simulate my all the rivets, I made up a rivet head, and then I have the actual hexagon for the screw. I'll stick
Cool, it's like it's countersunk.
I'll paint these black, put this in there for the actual, where the Allen would go, and then
Killer.
paint the outside to match the computer.
Cool. While Brad got to work on the chassis, we had a custom top grill milled out of billet. It was prepped to integrate with the case and primed before getting Brad to apply the final color coat to it. It needed a bit of massaging to blend in the color though. What do you think, Brad? Just kind of shadow in things a little bit so it matches the...
Yeah, because what happened is this is a different substrate as this is metal versus plastic, and we are going to just shadow a little magic fairy dust on it to make it all kind of match as best as we can.
You got plenty of fairy dust too, don't you?
Absolutely.
Here we are at Brad's shop. The top grill is all reassembled. Looks great. It matches the rest of the exterior on the 600T. All I have to do is just install it. We finished the Corsair build by installing a custom window and an orange LED lighting kit from NZXT. Unfortunately, Corsair needed the case back in a real hurry, so we really didn't get much time to show you how we did all that stuff. But that's how it goes sometimes. When the customer needs something, you gotta deliver, and you gotta do it fast. You know, at MMPC Tech, we get a lot of people's cases sent to us where we open it up and the styrofoam is all ripped up or broken. You know why? Because when people get their case, they try to open it from the top instead of the bottom. I'm going to show you how to properly open a computer case carton. First, flip it so the back is up and you can expose it. Cut with a sharp knife, right down the tape. The flaps out. Voila! That way, all the styrofoam is intact. And you know what's great about this? Let's say if you had to return your case for an RMA or a refund, or you wanted to sell it on eBay to somebody, do this trick and they won't even know that you open it or not, because they're not going to look on the bottom, see? Unless they're savvy enough where they've seen this tip. And that's how you open a computer case carton the right way. Over this series of episodes, you're going to watch us build a PC completely from scratch. It's going to be a Core i7 ITX home theater PC, and it's going to be water cooled. It's a design that Cheapskate and I brainstormed a couple of weeks ago. We wanted to do something that was reflective of 50s style commercial architecture, but a bit more edgy. Just imagine if Tim Burton were to do a Jetsons movie today. Well, this PC would fit right in with that. Now, the other day I had to catch up with Cheaps to go over the final design details, so I knew exactly what type of materials we had to order so we could start the build.
Here's your chance. Do you want to do it? Do you want to do it in plywood and Bondo?
No.
Or do you want to go full blast and do it and take a giant chunk of PVC and grind it down till there's almost nothing left?
PVC, because it's more fun to watch it get grinded down.
Watch it plug the pump on the mill. Yeah,
I like to see lots of PVC shavings all over the place, because it really feels like you're creating something then versus plywood. Let's put the mill to action. Let's feed the mill this thing.
Oh, we're feeding the mill, trust me.
How are the acrylic plates? How are those going to be assembled together?
There's 3 1/4-inch thick blocks on the inside.
Yeah, the foundation supports.
And there's just going to be one little tiny hole in the bottom of each one of them that screws into the base.
Okay.
And you get to play with glue again.
No.
Because once you get them in position, you got to put put the bottom one in, give it a little bit of glue.
No. Can I make a rule? We ban all usage of glue, plywood, MDF. What is it that you don't want done? Because now this is it, your baby.
Don't want done. And you know this is coming. No. Limited use of button cap screws. Yeah. I know you've got thousands of them laying around, but you're going to have to use flathead screws for this one, countersunk flatheads.
All right.
It's just cleaner looking.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it doesn't really fit the theme, does it? This is really smooth, sharp corners. I thought you were going to say flames in a turbine. All right, well, cool, man. Let's get to work on this. Okay, our first batch of materials arrived for the ModMen PC build, and it's all acrylic. Starting with this massive chunk right here. This is 2-inch thick clear cast acrylic, and this is going to make up the main tower of the PC. We're going to mill a profile in here for the 360 radiator to reside. Then we've got a smaller 12 by 12 inch of the same thickness. This is going to make up the base for the ATX power supply. We've also got some various sizes of transparent blue acrylic. The overall theme is going to be silver metallic and this blue with a little bit of green mixed in, and that green is this UV fluorescent, which is really cool glow, and that's going to be in the main tower. In the next episode of ModMen, you're going to watch us start milling the acrylic, and there's also going to be a lot more modding action, tips, and reviews. So until next time, I'm your host, Bill Owen, and this is ModMen. You know what? I keep staring at the front of this thing through the louvers, and it's like you can imagine it being like a futuristic home for like a Barbie doll. If you look in there close enough, you can see the wet bar, and you can see your closet. I mean, this is really cool. You should make a door outside.
There's so many things in that whole statement that you need to watch out for.